Hey, what's up, everyone? This is Snackbox. Hope you all are having an amazing day, guys. In today's video, I want to talk about the upcoming Fusion because I had a little poll on my channel where I asked my viewers or you guys if you are going for the Fusion or not. And these were the results. So 478 votes, almost 500, and 50% of those votes said, nope, I'm gonna skip this fusion. The other half was like 30%, I'm ready, I'm gonna do the fusion, and 20%, I'd like to, but I can't, maybe for time reasons or no resources or whatever the reason is. And yeah, so I want to touch on that and maybe give you a few arguments on why to do the fusion or why to skip it. So Cross Wallbreaker is a very interesting champion, right? Probably um, one of the best bomb champions. We definitely have two that are better than him, right? We have Commodus and we have Nishak. Those two are definitely better than him, but he's up there. But I still think there's a bigger gap between this champion and the other two. Either way, he's definitely a solid bomb champion, right? He provides bombs, he gets the turn meter fill. In case you saw some showcases, this doesn't guarantee the extra turn, right? This needs to be very, very well speed tuned so you get an extra turn. Yeah, it's not easy to do, right? Not easy to pull it off. Also, we only have one other Spirit Affinity Bomb champion, which is Lord Shazar. I mean, a legendary one, right? And Lord Shazar is much more stat hungry than this guy, so this guy is definitely better. I would also say that, you can not only use him in Arena if you're struggling with Faction Wars hard, which probably most people do, then this is a really good champion to have, right? If you take a look at my Ogren faction, that's my weakest faction in here. I have only 33 stars in the Ogren tribe crypt, and I'm really struggling there. So for me, it is no question. I will definitely go for this champion. He will help me a lot, and the reason is not only that he's putting up bombs. The main reason is really that on top of that, uh, he has the turn meter boost for all allies and block active skills. The block active skills will carry me in Faction Wars Hard, 100%. That will help me so much. And if you are struggling with that, then the value of this champion is very high for your account. The block active skills counters so many of those unity waves that are very hard to deal with. Now, I do have a few Ogrins by now, but as you can see, I'm missing most of the legendary champions. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Like 4 of them are fusions, right? So, yeah, you can already see that I'm really struggling with this faction just by looking at my index, and he will be a great asset to my Ogrin team. Now, another thing, now that I'm looking at, these two fusions, so Gurptug and Stock were both fusions that were kind of underestimated. Gurptug was in the vault for so long until he became one of the most wanted champions, most meta-defining champions in PvE, right? With this passive, where he is boosting the damage with his passive, which became the meta, right? Every time a champion gets released with a passive that has a damage multiplier, he instantly becomes the meta. And then we also had Stock. Stock at first seemed kind of okay, poison champion that can, turn me to boost and activate poisons and so on. Was kind of cool, but then, we had the poison relic and we had nail and we had Vulcanos, and there was this combination of those three that was absolutely obliterating any defense. And some people even skipped this guy and are now regretting it. So, what I'm trying to say here, you never know what will happen in the future if one of these fusion champions are becoming the meta. Most of the time, it's not the case, but you never know, right? You never know what's coming next. What's the next content gonna look like? Maybe you need a champion with bombs and block active skills in the same kit. You never know. That's why I dislike skipping fusions, even though I understand that sometimes you don't have the time, you don't have the resources, you're maybe burnt out from the whole Ninja Turtles collab. I do totally understand that. And it is your right to skip those fusions, right? But in general, I would rather go for the fusion, even if it's unpleasant for me, instead of skipping it and then later on regretting it, right? But anyway, I can totally understand. Like I said, there are always, every account is different, every situation is different. Not everybody has the same amount of time available or resources. Maybe you don't need this champion at all. Maybe you already cleared Faction Wars hard. Maybe you're not even done with Faction Wars normal, but even then, I think he would be great. Another thing I want to touch on is that we are very close to Christmas, right? And every Christmas we get a Yuletide Titan event. And there will be a Void Legendary Champion, at least in the last two. I don't know if there was another one or not, but we had Tormin in 2023, if I remember correctly, and we had Sir Nicholas last year as a guaranteed Void Legendary Champion, which also got a partner, which was the Fusion Lady Noelle, right? So two Void Legendary Champions that you were able to get as a free-to-play player, basically. And that was really, really good, right? Because both of these champions are solid in combination. They can definitely carry you in Faction Wars and also in Arena and so on. Lady Noelle is still used by many, many players in live Arena. And she's just amazing. And these types of events, they are, they require some resources, some saved up resources. You definitely have to have some shards saved up. You have to have some energy, maybe. And yeah, how this works is that, you will get like normal events and tournaments where you can get those Yuletide points or whatever they are called, right? Now, the last time we had a Titan event with 2,000 points for the last milestone, which was the Void Legendary Champion. Normally, Titan events are ending at like 1,500, but these ones were at like 2,000, and you were able to get a total amount of 2,500, right? So you're only able to skip 500 points in those Titan events, and that means like maybe one summoning event, right? Because the summoning events will have the most amount of points. Now, besides the guaranteed champion in here, you will also get a few other things like shards, energy, and just a lot of random stuff that would also help you to complete these things and progress. So it's not only the champion, you will also get other stuff in return, which is always good, right? If you get something in return from events and tournaments. Now, the big question is, what champion is it going to be this year, right? That is the big question. And I don't think there are a lot of options. Now, we can go and look through the Void Legendary champions, which, would fit in the kind of, the Christmas theme or the winter theme. And it could be maybe Supreme Aethel. I can see this champion be guaranteed. Then another one would be from the not Sacred Order. It was Knights Revenant, Carillon. Not quite sure about this champion though. I never used him. I don't know what he actually does, but he also has, freeze in his kit like Supreme Aethel. But other than that, going through these champions, there are not many other options that would fit in right there. Maybe Odin, but I would highly doubt it because he was part of the collab, right? And is a meta champion, and I don't think they would give us this guy because he was very hard to get during the Asgard Divide event. But maybe we will also get a new champion, right? Who knows? Maybe there will be a new champion that would be the guaranteed in the Yuletide event. And yeah, all I'm trying to say is if you are not sure that you have enough resources to go for the fusion, and the Yuletide event, I can see the argument to skip this fusion, save up shards, save up energy, save up resources to complete the Yuletide event and get the Void Legendary Champion, if it is a Void Legendary Champion, which is very likely because the last times we did get Void Legendaries. And to be fair, most of the times I pulled a lot of fusion dupes, right? For example, Ishiyama. I pulled right. I did the fusion and I pulled him right after. Back then I did Brogni. Now I got free, right? So it's like not impossible to pull the fusions. It can definitely happen, and it happens to me a lot. I have a lot of fusion dupes, and a lot of times I pull a fusion right after I fuse those champions. So yeah, I don't know. A Void Legendary is definitely way harder to get. You get way less Void shards from doing content, right? You get Ancient shards all the time. You get Sacred shards as much as you get Void shards, but the chance is way higher to get legendaries from Sacred shards, right? So there's a big difference in the champion acquisition between Void legendaries and non-Void legendaries. So yeah, guys, I hope this will help you to make a decision if you haven't decided yet. And all I can say is I'm definitely going to go for this champion because I think he will be very valuable for me in Faction Wars Hard. And you know, we will get a new faction at some point, and I want to try to complete this by the time we get the new faction so I can collect Polara, even though she's not that great and might not be worth all the effort, but maybe she will get a buff. Who knows? Maybe she will get a rebalance. She definitely deserves one as the new Faction Wars mythical. Compared to how impactful Lydia was, Polara doesn't really do anything for anybody at this moment. And yeah, regardless, I'm gonna go for the fusion and try to complete Faction Wars Hard with it, or at least get closer to completing it. And with that being said, thank you guys for watching. I hope you enjoyed. If you enjoyed, please hit the like button. It really goes a long way. Also, subscribe to the channel if you want to see more raid content. The YouTube algorithm's gonna suggest you a video that you might like right here, and see you in the next one.